right, guys. Sorry, I was jamming to the whole music. It's awesome. Nice to see you, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I should say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is the second episode of of the show. My name is Zia, and this is Crypto Polaris, and you can find me on X or Twitter at Crypto Polaris 21. And guys, do I have a show for you? Do I have a show for you? People are saying Bitcoin is going to $10 million, dollars, and I'm going to share that with you. It's not me talking about this. It's not any old Joe talking about it. It is by Michael Saylor, the guy that is buying Bitcoin every week. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So he is saying Bitcoin is going to 10 million per Bitcoin. Isn't that amazing? So, guys, listen, I'm going to go through this really quickly. I'm going to try to make it as short of a video as possible. But if there are sections you want to skip over, just go into the description, look at the chapters, and you can just click on the timeline and it will take you to whichever area that you like to listen to. Okay? So, and then, of course, as always, guys, give me a subscribe and a thumbs up as like and send some comments, and we'll go from there. So, here we go. So, let's talk about what is going on here. Well, this is Michael Saylor, the CEO and the founder of a company called MicroStrategy. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that. He is the one that came out today and said, if you knew what I know, or the way he said it is, if people knew what I knew, Bitcoin would go to 10 million tomorrow. And this is an article you can read. It's on crypto economy, and I will post a link for you to find it and just go through this. And this is a great read. Beyond that, and you saw as I started the show, there were a lot of people that are buying up Bitcoin like there is no tomorrow, and that is the focus of today's show: is should you be buying Bitcoin? Why are all these big guys buying Bitcoin? What do they know that you and I don't know? And that's really what this is about. And at the end of the show, or somewhere in the middle, I am going to talk about a publicly traded company called MicroStrategy that you really want to know, and see how you can actually buy MicroStrategy, an alternative to directly buying the actual Bitcoin. Okay, so now here are some folks who are buying Bitcoin like there is no tomorrow. This gentleman, he owns this company called 21 Capital, and they just bought 7,000 Bitcoin. And you can read all about that. Just go to my Twitter handle at CryptoPolaris21, and you will see all of that. Let me skip over a little bit. And right here is another gentleman we all know. I don't need to really tell you who he is, but he is thinking about buying Bitcoin again. And every time he buys Bitcoin, Bitcoin just goes through the roof. And of course, this is Michael Saylor, who is on the Forbes as the Bitcoin alchemist. So that is interesting. And I'm going to talk about all these things. Here's another gentleman, Tom Lee. He was on CNBC, I think yesterday. And he is talking about Bitcoin going to 3 million per coin. Guys, did you hear that? 3 million. 3 million per coin. So have a listen real quick and see what he's saying.
95% of all Bitcoin's been mined.
Let me start that again.
But 95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into year end.
Into your like 150 target.
Yeah, 150, maybe 200, even 250 this year.
What? 150 to 200 to even 250. And what's your, you don't have a terminal price on that, do you?
Well, it's, I think at a minimum it should have the same network value as gold. Mm-hmm. And if you look at above ground gold, it's probably 23 trillion. So that would be, 1.2 million for Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. So, gold, Bitcoin could be 2 million, 3 million long term.
So did you hear that? He thinks Bitcoin is more valuable. This is Tom Lee. And you can check this clip out. He's always on CNBC. This guy is more right than wrong. And he's been talking about Bitcoin for a little while now, but he's saying it could be 3 million per Bitcoin. So why do we think these Bitcoin stuff is going so high? Well, let's get started and see what we can talk about here. So today's agenda, real quick. I know we're 5 minutes into this. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. Drank a lot of coffee. Uh, Let me just turn this off real quick, the banner, so we can see the whole screen. The agenda is really, what are people buying? I know we're talking about Bitcoin, but did you know there are other ways of buying Bitcoin? I'm going to talk about that. Who are the people that are buying Bitcoin? How are they buying Bitcoin? And most importantly, why are they buying Bitcoin so fast? And this is what you need to understand, that these people, Tom Lee, Michael Saylor, and you're going to see lots of other companies here, they are buying up Bitcoin. They are buying up Bitcoin like it's going out of style. And I have lots of charts and graphs to share with you. So as I go through this, bear with me. We're going to talk about what are they buying? And underneath that, they're actually buying the Bitcoin. But not only just Bitcoin, they're also buying ETFs. Well, what is an ETF? It looks like a stock. It is trades like a stock. It's called exchange traded funds. You can buy it on any one of your brokerage funds and exchanges. And what they do is each ETF holds Bitcoin. So this is an indirect way to hold Bitcoin through all these brokerage firms that you have. And then the last way is publicly traded companies such as MicroStrategy, the one I was just talking about, Mara, GameStop. They themselves are buying Bitcoin, and you can indirectly buy the company instead of buying the Bitcoin. And I will walk you through that. So, and then who are the people that are buying it? People like me, people like you, major companies, nation states, sovereign wealth fund. And you can see, the states are buying state pensions. CalPERS, California Pension Fund, started buying as well. And how did they buy it? And we're going to talk about that. Obviously, you go to various exchanges and brokerage firms. And I know some of you guys are very advanced, but I'm trying to break it down a little bit for the folks who really don't know what to buy, where to buy it from, and all of that. And we're not really going to go through any tutorial. It's just a high level. And at the very end, we are going to talk about why are they all rushing to buy all the Bitcoin. All right, so let's get started. Let's dive right in. So how do you buy the actual Bitcoin? Well, you and I, as retail customers, we can go to Coinbase as an exchange, or crypto.com, or Robinhood. I'm sure you've heard of these names. And you go there, sign up, you register, and you actually buy the crypto. So let me bring my camera back here. There we go. And then also, did you know that you can buy Bitcoin through IRA, Roth IRA? Did you know that? There are companies such as itrustcapital.com where you can go and sign up or transfer your IRA into them. And there are many others, by the way. I just gave one example where you can buy your Bitcoin directly into your retirement funds. And it also goes as far as 401k. And obviously, 401k depends on each company's offering, but you can also hold Bitcoin through 401k, which is kind of interesting. And then, of course, you've got the large guys who are buying, large corporations, nations, even the United States. They buy directly from the over-the-counter. They don't really go to open market and try to buy, 7,000 Bitcoin. Obviously, that's going to move the market. So they actually go what's called over-the-counter, and to these exchanges that we are familiar with, like Binance, Coinbase, and they buy the Bitcoin directly. Okay? They will almost never buy it through open market. Now, moving on to the next slide. There aren't really that many slides today, so I'm going to try to stay as close to as possible to a short video today. It is, what time is it? It is 10:15 p.m. I'm still going because I'm so excited to read all these news. So what am I showing you guys? So I've moved on to, you can buy directly the Bitcoin itself, or you can buy ETFs. Well, there are companies like BlackRock, there are companies like Fidelity Investment and Invesco. I'm sure these are household names. Among these three, they have about $18.38 trillion under management. They started back in January of last year, opened up the ETFs that are now available to people like you and me and large companies and nation states, and they are actually buying these ETFs. So imagine what are these large corporations doing, creating ETFs and buying these Bitcoins off the market. BlackRock owns the second largest Bitcoin quantities in the world. First, obviously, is Satoshi Nakamoto. BlackRock is second. Third is MicroStrategy. And I think I have a chart that's going to show you that. So I wanted to show you that these big boys are gobbling Bitcoins up. And if you're not aware of these things, now you are, and you want to know that they're up to something. And that's why I'm so excited about this Bitcoin stuff. These are some of the ETFs. I think there are a list of 12 of them here. Number one is BlackRock. This is as of a couple of weeks ago. They have 659,000 Bitcoin. They bought all of these in 1 year, guys. They bought all of these in 1 year, and they are buying every week, and they have accelerated the purchases of ETFs. So there's about, if you add all of these up, 1.3 million Bitcoins have already been bought by these 12 ETFs. That's 6.1% of the total supply, okay? And of course, the retail customers can buy these ETFs through E-Trade or Robinhood or Charles Schwab, whoever is your brokerage. You can go there and actually buy these ETFs. So this way, you don't actually have to hold Bitcoin. You can buy these ETFs, who in turn holds Bitcoin. It's just like gold. There are ETFs for gold. So these are ETFs for Bitcoin. Hopefully that makes some sense to everyone, because it took a while for me to understand this. Now, the third way is for you to buy a publicly traded company. So MicroStrategy is the one that I'm showing you. You can actually go buy that MicroStrategy stock in an open market, and it trades on NASDAQ. And what is MicroStrategy doing? Well, they started back in August of 2020. They started buying Bitcoin. They bought $250 million worth of Bitcoin. And they have been just buying Bitcoin week after week. And you can see this. They now own 580,000 Bitcoin. This is as of this morning. Every week they're buying Bitcoins. And I will show you that in a second. So these guys, Michael Saylor, the founder of MicroStrategy, decided to take his company and convert it into a Bitcoin treasury company. It is still a software company, but whatever money they make, they're buying Bitcoin with this, and they're offering all sorts of ways for people to buy their MicroStrategy equity. Okay, let's go to the next one. I just wanted you to get a feel for every week he's buying, and each row is a purchase. He just bought actually a very small amount yesterday, 709, I believe, the very first one that you can see, first row. Every row is almost a week. Week before, he bought 4,000 Bitcoin. Week before, he bought 7,000 Bitcoin. The week before, he bought 13,000 Bitcoin. He is gobbling up Bitcoins. No matter what the price is, he is buying Bitcoin. Okay, this is a chart of MicroStrategy, the company, when they started buying Bitcoin back in August of 2020. And you see these yellow dots? That's implying exactly at what price point he bought Bitcoin. You can see he doesn't care how high the Bitcoin price is, he's buying. Goes down, he buys. Goes up, he buys. He is going to keep buying, according to him. He's on record saying that he is not going to sell this, and he believes Bitcoin is going to go to $10 million per Bitcoin. Imagine the valuation of MicroStrategy, the company itself, when that happens. Okay, so what you're looking at is, well, Zia, who is buying the MicroStrategy? Well, I own a little bit of MicroStrategy myself, but look at these companies: Vanguard Group, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley. I mean, Cantor Fitzgerald. These are large corporations. UBS, they're buying MicroStrategy. They're getting indirect exposure to Bitcoin. They may not be able to buy directly Bitcoin for whatever rules and regulations they may be governed under, but this is another way for them to have exposure to Bitcoin by buying MicroStrategy. So, Michael Saylor himself has been going out and telling other publicly traded companies to copy his master plan. And guess what? Over 70 publicly traded companies have followed his blueprint, and each one of those companies are buying Bitcoin using their balance sheet. So you can see some of the companies. GameStop started buying. I think they bought a few thousand Bitcoin just last week or week before. 21 bought, and these are, by the way, global companies as well. Some are US companies, like there's one here called MetaPlanet that's based in Japan. So India is getting involved. All of these companies are beginning to buy Bitcoin. They do not want to hold USD in their checking account. They're converting that into Bitcoin. And as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the valuation of their company goes up. Isn't this amazing for them? So, where are we going with this? Well, this is a chart that explains if the world population, if everyone, obviously not everyone is old enough to buy Bitcoin, but this is a calculation. There's 7.8 billion people in the world. If every one of them decided to buy a Bitcoin, it's non-available. Non-available. Only 0.27% of the total population. Let me repeat that. Only 0.27% of the total global population that can buy one Bitcoin, because there's not enough. There's 21 million Bitcoins. And in my prior videos, I've talked about the beauty of Bitcoin. There is no founder. You can see the chart on the right. There is no founder for the Bitcoin. There is no foundation that runs it. It's free to use, and on and on and on. These are all the reasons why people are buying Bitcoin, and people are ditching their USD in parts and converting them into Bitcoin. This is the $64,000 question: why people are buying it. And I want to end this with this chart. The blue line, guys, the blue line that's going down is the supply of Bitcoin that all the exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, and others collectively have available for all these companies to buy. It's going down. It's almost, let me turn off the camera here real quick. So what's going to happen is they will have no choice but to start buying it from the open market, because good 70% are owned by retail customers out there and unknown people, not corporations. So this is going to be very exciting as we go through this. And I wanted to bring this to your attention, that all of these things, I kind of did a tongue in cheek. Understand what is going on here. And the Bitcoin is the future of the financial system. These large companies know it. And that is why the Bitcoin price is headed to 10 million or more. It may not happen next year or the year after, but This is definitely in the cards, and everyone is talking about this. Right now, the Bitcoin price, let me look it up, is around $105,000. So with that, give you guys something to think about. It's been a pleasure. Guys, if you liked what I had to say, subscribe, give me a like, and write some comments. I definitely look for the comments and reply back. And all the best to you guys. And the ticker symbol for MicroStrategy is MSTR. MSTR. Okay, guys, have a great night. Nice seeing you. I'll be doing a very special video on MicroStrategy itself. I think that's going to be a deep dive next video. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye.